Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Of course, shout out to the 19. We have some high quality entertainment for y'all here. Right now, we are talking Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud may have single handedly, besides costing me about 10 IQ points having to listen to her, she, she may have single handedly set back the WNBA CBA negotiations and completely wrecked this season, the greatest opportunity this league has ever had to take a step to the next level. This is about 6 minutes long. She went on a bit of a rant. I'm not going to play it all for you because I cannot put you through that. But we do have about 2 minutes here that we need to take a listen to and dissect because it is absolutely wild. All right. Oh, quick warning. She dropped some words here and there. Sorry about that. I just wanted to warn you ahead of time. I can't control her intellect, unfortunately. Uh, she's going to drop one right away too. But let's take a listen to this.
Else about our league loses money. Every professional league, every organization loses money somewhere.
Okay, now, before we even go further, just that right there hurts my head so much. This is a college graduate, as she will bring up later. Every league, think about that. Think about how many leagues, how many sports leagues are out there? How many organizations, right? You think about when she's talking about organization, she means team, franchise. How many in each league? Every league, she said, every organization out there loses money. And then she oddly included the word somewhere. Well, I mean, yes, every team in league has expenses for sure. But let her keep going because it gets better or worse, I guess.
Literally look at their expenses for the year. You can literally look at the Brooklyn Nets expenses for the 2026 or 2025 season. You can't tell me they're not losing money. You're talking about teams that are flopping in the NBA. I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Oh my God. So she doesn't have the full picture. She just looks at their expenses and she knows. You can't tell her otherwise. She knows that they're losing money. Yeah, these Brooklyn Nets right here. Most recent season, by the way, calculated October 2025. Operating income, that means they're not losing money, Natasha. That's profit, right? Revenue, $402 million in revenue, which is like more than the entire WNBA itself. Gate receipts alone, they brought in $68 million. But look at that. This is why they can have player expenses of 167 million because they have a revenue of 402 million. Operating income. That is profit. Now they did have some times here, and I'm guessing it was after effects of everything that was going on with that time. But you can see, let's go back to 2016. All of these except for these three where they get a little lower. But again, they have so much money. They've got stuff stocked away. But here you go. 2024 it was 43 million. 2025 it's 50 million. So yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, to use her example, are making money.
But I will tell you what does happen for owners. Like I remember in our meeting at All-Star this year, the Seattle owner came up and was like, "You don't understand. We lose all this money, X, Y, and Z." And I just we were like, "Girl, first of all, you get a write-off because it's a real estate investment for you. So already money off. You rent it out."
Doesn't even make any sense. You're talking about expenses that are tax write-offs. It's such a bizarre take. It's again someone who fundamentally doesn't understand business or economics. Just because something is a tax write-off doesn't mean it means you're still losing. You've lost that money. It just lessens your tax burden if you turn the profit elsewhere.
Out, you sign it, you have signage all over the building, you rent it out for leagues to be played with that you don't think that we know that you're getting excess money on, and all the other shit that comes with it. So
Okay, so a couple of things here. One, I'm assuming they're talking about the Seattle owner owning where Seattle plays, which is not WNBA income. Just because owners have other businesses that are not the WNBA that they make money on, that's not your money, Natasha. That's not the WNBA's money. That's not the WNBA players' money. It has nothing to do with you.
what are we talking about? What are we
What are you talking about?
talking about? So yeah, we'll give you updates on the CBA when we get updates on the CBA. But for 8 months, we have gotten no update.
That's not true. We've covered that in other videos.
We have gotten no update for the last 8 months from the league. So yeah. Yeah, Chelsea Gray made more than her entire W salary for 31 minutes of play in a one-on-one tournament.
In a league that's losing money with viewership down 44% from its first season in which they lost money. Again, has nothing to do with the WNBA. Comparing a one-on-one tournament in a 3v3 league with so few players playing in one location, it literally has nothing to do with the WNBA at all.
They keep playing in our faces. That is like it.
How is that playing in your face? What does that even mean? This woman trying so hard to be. I don't know what she's trying hard. I'm at a
was like
loss
the
at this point.
audacity. Whenever we're at their meetings, it's the audacity for me that like this is not, and I don't mean this is no knock, but this is a league full of women that have finished their degrees from some of the most elite colleges in the country, and you're telling us we don't understand basic economics.
Yes, that is correct. I'd argue the word elite just because of the state of American education. I also would want to check into the degrees that you have gotten and whether or not you actually qualify to get into these schools, or if maybe there were other reasons you got in, such as, I don't know, basketball. Just as an aside, real quick, I'm not putting down the women. I think was it back in the 80s? No, maybe it was the 90s. There was a thing, I believe it was called Prop 48. Um, I was way too young, so I don't really, but I believe it was Prop 48. And they made a thing where you had to have a minimum back in the day when the SAT score was 1600, you had to have a minimum of 700 in order to be eligible to play basketball in college, at least I believe your freshman year, or maybe you had to retake it or something like that. And by the way, you get 400 for getting your name correct. So I want you to think about that. Think about the schools that we're talking about. I think, I swear, I think this came up with someone going to Georgetown. Speaking of elite schools, well, you shouldn't even get anywhere near Georgetown if you don't have an SAT score of 700. So, come on, let's put that into perspective. And you've made it clear in the things that you've said recently, just in this clip, Natasha, that you don't have an understanding of basic economics. In fact, if you knew basic economics, you would know that the WNBA should have folded 30 years ago.
You're telling us, you're telling Nafisa and Stewie that they don't understand a basic business plan after they started Unrivaled.
Nobody's saying that, but I don't know if I would. First of all, they didn't do the work. Okay, they are the names at the top, and well, we won't even get into the whole sustainable business comment from
What?
Nafisa.
The proof is in the pudding.
What proof? What proof? A league that's losing money and viewership has cratered? That proof?
What are you talking about?
That's the question I have for you.
What are you talking
I don't understand. Are these weird facial expressions and the what are you talking about somehow supposed to add credibility to the ridiculousness of her comments?
about?
Ow. Okay, so yeah, there you go. The brilliance of Natasha Cloud. But look, let's be honest about this. The WNBA growth has not been a straight upward line, right? We know it started out with a bang because it got a lot of hype, a lot of attention, and Michael Jordan going around with Cheryl Swoops and all that. And then after the first few years, it plummeted, right? It absolutely plummeted. There was a steady decline from 2005 to about 2019 or so, cratered in what 2020 because of you know what, and then it has been recovering since then, and it's still not quite back, or maybe it is. It kind of leveled off to about where it was in its early years. We all know not a million viewer game from 2008 to 2023, and there was only one game in 2008, and that was Candace Parker's rookie debut. Then in 2024, we know what happened. Million viewer games returned. They became common, or at least they did for one team. I wonder why that was. Yeah, that's right. Caitlin Clark entered the league and everything spiked. Ratings spiked, road attendance spiked, media coverage exploded, merch was selling out, casual fans are showing up. Oh my, but the measurable surge has been Caitlin Clark. Period. That is not opinion. That is observable. That you can look at the numbers. She didn't just add growth, she accelerated it. She took it off the flat line. And then Natasha Cloud's talking about players blowing the roof off the league's potential since 2015 when she entered the league. The numbers say otherwise. And that matters when you're negotiating leverage because leverage isn't effort, it's about demand. And the demand right now is heavily influenced by one gravitational force. Caitlin Clark, period. Look, I 100% agree the players deserve fair compensation. But is that what they're asking for? Is that what they're asking for? I'm not so sure that it is. And this concentration of growth into Caitlin Clark makes things very, very risky for this league. The players have to prove that there is a ground floor that is deserving of what they are asking. And they have no proof of that. Man, momentum is fragile, folks, especially for a league still building its audience. If the public tunes out, even temporarily, you are not going to flip a switch and get them back. If you lose 2026, you will not recover. I promise you that. So if you really have this amazing degree from this elite college, understand something. You need to sign and you need to play, period. The moment matters. The league is growing. There's more visibility than ever. But that growth has been all Caitlin Clark at this point. And that makes things messy and that makes things risky. This does not have to be players versus Caitlin Clark or any union, any league, or any of that. They have to get together, recognize the moment, get a CBA signed, and move forward or risk it all, lose it all. And then where are y'all going to be? Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for checking this out. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.